Today I'm going to show you guys how to make the stuffed bell peppers that my family loves. So you're going to start with a bell pepper and you're going to cut the top off like this. And that should take out the top as well as the rest of the inside. So the seeds come out and you have this. Once you do that, you want to soak them in hot boiling water for about 10 minutes in a pot like this. So I'm going to put this on the stove, and once the water gets to a boil, I'm probably going to leave them in there for, I don't know, 10 minutes or so to soften them up a little bit. While the bell peppers are boiling, you're going to start getting the stuff that you're going to mix into your turkey ready. So this is an onion. Sorry for my non-painted bitten up nails, but you're going to obviously peel it, chop it up to about this consistency. Then you're also going to, you know me, I don't waste anything. I get the top of the bell peppers that we just cut off. I cut this all the way around it, so you end up with something like this. And then you chop it up as small as you can, and then I'm going to add this to my onion mixture. I'm going to do it to all of the tops, and then I'm going to add that to the meat and cook it first. So you'll see that step next. Okay, so while the bell peppers are cooking, you are going to put some rice on as well. That's some white rice. I don't have white rice in my bell peppers, but my husband likes it, so I make him some. I sometimes add quinoa, but tonight I'm having mine just regular with turkey. Here I'm adding the onions and bell peppers to my turkey, and I am making a lot more turkey than I normally would because when I cook, I take advantage of that and I meal prep, so I'm making extra turkey for me to have for the week. So this is a lot of onion. I would say to use half an onion per pound. We like onions, so we use a lot. You may not want to use that much, so judge it by how much you like an onion. So we're going to cook these up. While these are cooking up, I like to multitask. So while these are cooking up on low, while the bell peppers are boiling, while the rice is cooking, I'm going to go get my turkey and start getting it ready to package, so that is what you will see next. I always use the extra lean, and I use the extra lean because it has 120 calories and 1.5 grams of fat versus 170 and 9 grams of fat. So a lot cleaner, a lot of protein, less fat. And I buy these. They come in 1 pound servings, so normally you would only need one for the recipe, but I'm making an extra one to meal prep, so I'll be using both. So I'm just going to open it up, and you will see how I cook it and add the onions and chopped bell peppers to it in a minute. So we're moving on to the turkey, but I totally remembered I forgot a step. I also add this. I am way too lazy to buy fresh garlic and chop it. So I buy this at Costco. It's organic garlic, all chopped up for you. And I add that in to the onions and bell peppers mixture to give it a little bit more flavor. So once you've done browned the onions, we're going to remove those, place them in this bowl, and then I'm going to set these aside so we can start making our turkey. And remember, this is all while the bell peppers are softening up in the water, and I'm making the rice because the husband likes the rice in it. But you don't need to make it with rice. You can even add quinoa to it instead to blend it. So now that this is already heated up, you are going to add your turkey into it. Remember, I make two because I meal prep. You don't have to. One is all you need. So now you're just going to cook this up. Cook it up in a skillet just like this. I like to chop it up. It cooks easier and it comes out cleaner. And then I will show you in a minute, once this starts browning, how I season it. So now that my turkey is just about done, there's no more pink on there. I'm going to drain the little fat there is on there. If you can see it, I'm not sure if you'll be able to. There's a little bit of liquid down there. If you use a regular lean, it'll have a lot more. So you want to use one of these and drain the fat out over the sink. So I'm going to do that and be right back. So now that I've drained the fat, I am going to add the mixture of onions and garlic and a little bit of bell pepper I have left. I'm going to blend it in, and remember I'm using a ton of turkey, so there's a lot in here. And then I'm going to start to season it a little bit. I add a little bit of water to it to season it, just so it soaks it up since I did drain all the fat out. I'm just going to add a little sprinkle of water. Seems weird, but when you have the turkey that has more fat, it has more liquid in it, so it'll soak it more up. So I add a little bit of water to it, and then I'm going to use this seasoning first. It's from Sam's Club. It's an Italian seasoning blend, and it has no salt, so I'm not a big salt fan. You can add some salt if you want to, but I spread this generously because since it doesn't have salt, it's just a lot of spices and gives it really good flavor. I also add, this is one of my favorites from Costco, organic no salt seasoning. Again, I'm a no salt person. So I'm going to add some of that. You just sprinkle it on. And then you blend this up again. And once you blend this up, the mixture of meat should be almost done. I add a tiny little bit of marinara sauce. Marinara sauce is something that I make ahead, and I keep a large batch of it frozen in the refrigerator for every time that we want to have pasta or I make something like this. So I will add the recipe link for the marinara sauce to the recipe link for the stuffed peppers. If you want to make your own, you can also get some canned marinara sauce from either Trader Joe's or Costco is where I prefer to get it. And when you do that, make sure to try to stay away from the ones that have high fructose corn syrup, artificial flavoring, things like that in the ingredients. Try to get it as clean as you can. It should only have tomatoes, other vegetables, no artificial flavoring, things like that. Sugar is it's a high content in a lot of the marinara sauces and the pasta sauces, and that's what you want to avoid. So we're going to get ready to finish off our mixture by adding a little bit of marinara sauce to it in a minute, but I'm going to separate some for myself because I'm doing the meal prepping. So here it is. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit. I would say that's maybe a quarter cup, maybe less, and just blend it in there. And then when I add the rice to this, for those of you that want to add rice or that want to add quinoa or some kind of carb, I make mine without it. You can add a little bit more sauce if you want to. We don't like a lot of sauce in them, so it's totally up to you. You can add as much or as little sauce as you like. And for now, we will wait till the rice is done for the next step. So my rice is done, and remember, I've said this before, but I'll say it again. I don't always add rice to these, especially to mine, but my husband likes it. Sometimes I add quinoa, but today he wanted rice, so that's what I'm adding. So you're going to mix some rice into there, however much you want. He likes a lot of it. He's carb loading or whatever. So there's my rice. He likes jasmine rice. There's so many different kinds of rices. You mix it in, and then if you want to, you can add in a little bit more marinara sauce. Remember, I made mine and I had it frozen, but you can buy it home pre-made. So you're going to mix it in. Once you mix this in, you are ready to add to your bell peppers and then bake them for, I'll let you know that in a minute because I still have to think about it. But once you mix this in, we are going to add it to our bell peppers, and I will show you what I did with our bell peppers, because if you can remember, once you put them in the boiling water, you're supposed to let them soak for about, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes until they're soft to the touch. So that's what they were doing. Then I took them out. I put them in a container like this that you see over here, a glass Pyrex. And then what I will do is make sure also once you take these out of the water that you drain the inside, because sometimes they have water inside. So they should be soft to the touch, and you should be able to pierce them with a fork with no problem. That's how you know. Otherwise, when you bake them, they're just too stiff. So now that we've blended this in pretty well, I am going to fill my bell peppers. So here they are, and all you do is just fill them in. Fill each one like this, trying not to let your filling fall off to the side like I just did, trying to rush. Story of my life. Again. So you're going to do this with each one. I won't bore you and do every single one so I can continue with the recipe with you guys. I like to fill them to the top. The very, very top. Just like that, and then I'll show you the next step. So we're at this step now. They're all filled up. These over here have the rice in them for my husband, and these over here have no rice in them because I like them without rice. So the next thing we're going to do is add a little bit of sauce on top to each one, just like this. You're going to top all of them. So I'm going to fast forward this for you guys so you don't have to wait for me to top them all. Just with a little tiny bit of sauce on top. I don't like it to drip all the way down because then it burns on the pan and you get a stinky smell in your kitchen. So now that they are all covered, you're going to get some cheese. I like to use either mozzarella or provolone, but totally up to you, whatever kind of cheese you want to use. And you're just going to lay the cheese on top like this. It's just going to melt down the side of them once they're done. So it doesn't matter if it hangs over a little bit. I buy a lot of cheese at once and I freeze it, especially when it's on sale, because cheese freezes pretty well. Even if it's sliced thin, it's still pretty easy to take apart. Sometimes it breaks up a little bit, so if you're going to freeze your cheese, then get it sliced a little thicker. But as you can see, they stay pretty well. So that's one tip you can use if you want to shop ahead and not have to go to the grocery store all the time. Freeze your cheese. So I'm going to finish covering these up with cheese. It doesn't have to look pretty. It's going to all look fine once it melts. So don't worry about presentation when you're putting your cheese on there because it is not going to look good, especially if you have these messy slices. Now my cheese is on. My oven has been heating up to about 350, 375 this entire time that I've been cooking. Probably longer than it needed to. So you're going to put them in the oven and not for very long because remember, everything is already fully cooked. All you want to do is warm them up and melt the cheese. So I'd say maybe, oops, hold on, I got to move these racks because they get too tall. All right, so they're in, and I would say you're going to heat them up for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes at the most. Just watch them till the cheese melts, and then they're going to be ready to go. So here they are. They're done. This recipe took me about an hour to make from start to finish. If you are working late and want to make this for dinner, a good thing to do would be the day before to clean out your cut and clean out your bell peppers the night before, and maybe even boil them so they're all ready to go. And the next day when you get home from work, all you have to do is brown your onions, make your turkey, and throw them in the oven for 10 minutes. That could literally take you 30 minutes tops. So you have a quick, healthy dinner. You could serve this with pretty much anything, with pasta, with spaghetti squash, with rice like my husband wants, quinoa, by itself even, because they're pretty big. I'm making this for a family of 4. We are a family of 4, so this is a lot of food, especially with one of them being a 2-year-old. And I also have some extra turkey left over. I'm going to open it for me in here that I made extra for meal prepping. So take advantage of that when you're making dinner. Make extra for yourself for meal prepping. And there's a lot of variations. You could use turkey, you could use chicken, you could use ground beef, whatever you want to fill these, and you can add any veggies you want as well. You could add bell peppers like I did, basically anything. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Here's a closer look at them. If I was well dressed, I would be on video right now, but I am not. So you will not see my face, but there's plenty of me on YouTube to go around. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Facebook, on Instagram, here on YouTube, or on my email, info@fitfluentialmom.com. Hope you guys enjoy it, and please leave me some feedback if you try it out.